people usually struggle with staying motivated when they first start out as a beginner in the gym. They may have worked out for 2 weeks and said, this is going great, this is going good. By that third week, though, man, they're craving some chocolate. They're feeling like they're beat up, they need a break, and they just don't think that they can go on anymore. Okay, so this is something that is incredibly prevalent for people who are not even beginners. Even myself, I've been lifting for well over 10 years. There are still days where I wane with motivation. Okay, so let's look at what I would recommend for beginners and kind of some of the tools that I use to help stay motivated to work out consistently. Okay, so I like to break this down by first discussing motivation in general. Now, motivation is this idea of having a spurt of energy or a spurt of, inspiration to do something in any aspect of life, okay? So a lot of people, when they're starting out, they're really motivated to get in the gym. They're really motivated to improve their fitness and health. So because of this, they have a lot of energy, they have a lot of desire, they have a lot of drive where they can kind of get over that initial discomfort of maybe dieting a little bit, cutting back on the foods they really enjoy, maybe going to the gym, getting a little hot and sweaty and doing stuff that they don't particularly enjoy, right? Or fully enjoy quite yet. So motivation is a great kickstart. It's a great starting point. It's a great way to get your foot in the door to basically start chipping away at the days of fitness ahead. Now, the thing about motivation, though, is it wanes. It wanes so quickly, and it's not really great for sticking with things. So motivation is like a jet fuel where it's just burning super hard, super fast, and once it's gone, though, it's gone. This would be different from something like, I don't even know if this is a good analogy, but like solar energy, right? Where it's a little bit there, and it's always consistent. It might not be as powerful as jet fuel, but we always know we're gonna have the sun coming back, and we always know we're gonna have a little bit of it every single day. That's kind of the energy, that's kind of the thing we need to look at when it comes to it. So motivation, great catalyst to start. I love when we're motivated, and there are some times where having that motivation is really the only thing that can get us to start in the first place. So a good form of motivation for somebody is maybe like, I got a wedding coming up and I just want to lose some weight. That's great. So your motivation is the wedding. But beyond that, we want to have more intrinsic motivation and more discipline that we can use to stick with it for a long period of time after that wedding, after that thing that we're trying to achieve, okay? So sticking with it, we look from a sense of discipline. And discipline is simply how I define it as doing something, anything at all, can be fitness, can be not, when you aren't motivated to do it. Okay, great. Easier said than done though, right? So building discipline comes from a lot of different aspects. And I think one of the most important things that you can do to build some discipline is to simply recognize where your barriers are at for fitness and health. So a lot of times people will say that, I'm just so tired after work, right? Or I don't have time because I have all these obligations to juggle. I don't have, any time in my day to do a workout. Or maybe they just don't want to be uncomfortable, right? I don't like being hot and sweaty. I'm kind of self-conscious in the gym. These are all barriers that can make it hard to consistently work out at the gym. So when you have motivation initially, a lot of these things like time, being tired, even being uncomfortable at the gym completely go away because you are so hyper-focused and using a lot of that motivation energy to get you through it. But the discipline comes in looking at your life and saying, okay, I don't have time right now to do a full 1 hour workout every single day. So what do I have time for? What can I stay disciplined with? Well, I can stay disciplined with getting a 15-minute workout in, a 15-minute walk every day for right now. If that's where you're starting at, great. We're just talking about starting and being consistent and doing something, a little thing, every single day to build that long-term success, right? Maybe you're tired. So a discipline point could be for you. It's like, okay, I'm not feeling 100% right now in my energy. So maybe my workout's not going to be 100%, but I'm still going to be disciplined and go and do a little bit. Even if that little bit of a workout is just some light stretching or walking on the treadmill or just doing some really light weights, it doesn't particularly matter, right? Because at the end of the day, that consistency, just getting in and doing the reps regardless of sometimes how hard it is going to be getting you that long-term lasting results. And maybe you're uncomfortable. So the discipline point for this could be is saying, you know what? I recognize that I don't necessarily like lifting super heavy weights. I don't really like being super sweaty. So maybe for you, you recognize that, okay, once I start to get really, really sweaty, maybe that's my point where I cut it off in my workout, right? I'm not going to work out beyond that. And if that's what it takes to be disciplined, where you can work out up until that point, that's it. That's it for you. Finding what works for you, kind of morphing it to your own program and own health and wellness plan is going to be the crucial key, right? This isn't going to be the same for everyone, and it shouldn't be the same for everyone because everyone's got different strengths and weaknesses and aspects of life, and especially in how we perceive making fitness a priority in our life, it becomes the exact same thing, okay? Now, I think another really important thing to note too, and what I already kind of mentioned on this as well, is to understand where your results from fitness come from. So intensity, where you're really intense and you're really focused, there can be some results that come from this in fitness. So an example of being really intense would be saying, okay, I'm going to work out every single day for 1 hour a day for 2 weeks, right? That's really intense. That's great. But something like this is usually just built from motivation, okay? And as we discussed, motivation isn't a form of energy that we want to use for long-term lasting success in the gym. Instead, that consistency is going to be the most crucial thing, okay? And this is built from discipline. So we'll look at the prior example of somebody who said, I'm going to work out two straight weeks, right, for 1 hour every single day, and boom, that's good. I can do that. I can do that. How about instead of that, we work out twice a week for a year? That's going to lead to more profound results because you're consistent. Even though you're only lifting twice a week, you're lifting for so many more weeks long term that if that person just quit after that initial stunt, after that initial intensity burst, they're going to be gone. They're going to be down for the count. They're going to not be getting the benefits from health and fitness that we know come from long-term lasting success and results. Okay, so some really crucial things and good takeaway points there to consider. Go ahead and drop the like on the video if that section gave you some good knowledge.